You see, people were prepared. Psychologically, I was prepared. The church members were prepared. My family was prepared to release their daughter and everything. Now everything paused. The best lady is a person who should take care of you like a mother. Yeah. But then she told me, Mary, in case anything happens to this guy, you're the one responsible. I feel myself that I've been disappointed. Himself on the other side is calling, he wants us to continue. So I was like, God, even if this thing was to continue later, why are they forcing it? Like, I should not take a break?
Hello, good people. Welcome to today's episode of TUKO Talks. Now, picture this. 2 weeks to your wedding. You're obviously excited to walk down the aisle and marry the love of your life. But then something happens that makes you call off this wedding. How do you even do it? What makes you do that? Well, lucky for us, we have the bride right here with us to tell us exactly what happened. Welcome to the show, Mary.
Well, thank you.
Karibu sana, Mary.
Asante sana.
Now,
yes,
this is quite a shocking story. We have had a few incidents of people doing this for various reasons.
Yeah.
Before we get to the point where you're deciding I'm of age to get married, how would you describe yourself? Who is Mary? Where does Mary come from?
Okay. As I've said, or as you've started by saying, my name is Mary Kitonga. Yeah, born again. I love the Lord, and I come from Machakos. Yeah.
How is your life like as a young girl? How are you navigating these challenges of life? What course did you take? What's your life like as a young girl? Describe that for us.
I've grown to as a Christian young girl. I got born again when I was in primary school. I've worked in my salvation life. God has been faithful, and in my journey, salvation journey, I've seen God doing mighty and great things upon my life. And as I've said, when I was in the primary is when I started connecting with God and I got born again. So from there, I started becoming that, showing that seriousness in the things of God. So God came through for me, and I told God one thing. I remember I was in class 6. So my mother used to buy those videos we could watch, people giving out their testimonies of what God has come through for them, how they have encountered God. So I told in my heart, I did not know whether it was a prayer I was making, but then I came to realize God answered, because I told God that, God, I don't want to learn from people what maybe they went through, and then God, you came through. I want it to be me. Like I stand one day to give a testimony of the things that happened in my life. Right. So God heard the prayer, and truly, when I was in class 8, the reason as to why I understood that God started answering my prayers, I asked God to give me or to direct me to a certain high school I desired, and then it happened. So I got a letter from that school. As if that was not enough, I received another letter. So I started saying, God answers prayers. So from there, I encountered God. The more I started working with God, the more I did not want to play with salvation. And the school I went, I studied there when I was in my Form 1 class. The 3rd term, I was chosen as an official, CU. So I used to preach to girls that there's God in heaven, God can save, God can do this, stop doing that which does not please God. So that was my mission. So apart from studying, I was also preaching. So my Form 4 course was over. I obtained the grade I obtained. It was not my wish to obtain that grade because I admired to go to university. But then the reason as to why I did not get the grade, I know. It's something that maybe when you call me later, I'll come to explain. Yeah, so I passed. Then from there, I stayed like 1 year or something. No, it was not 1 year. Immediately after my results, I started my course my computer course. I started for almost a year. From there, I was now to join my college teaching. I've studied teaching, although as we talk, I don't teach. Yeah, I don't just like it because maybe I just did it because my parents wanted me to do it. My mother is a teacher, although she's retired. So after there, I was here in Nairobi, and as I've said, due to my boundaries or my connection with God, I did not want to involve myself in the things of what do you call them, the sexual whatever. Like, I did not involve myself in a boy-girl relationship. So I had disciplined myself or my mind in such a way that I stayed so far from the opposite gender guys. Yeah, I did not want their relationship. Not that because I hated them or something, but it was just my decision.
You just wanted to be pure for the day.
Yeah. Yeah. So my prayer, even after my Form 4, I told God, like, the person will approach me. God, let it be that this person is the one who would marry me. So that was my prayer. And I sticked to that. Yeah. I sticked to that. And as I've said, I was here in Nairobi. We stayed. After my computer course, I was to join my college. So before I completed the course, because I was staying here in Nairobi with my people, my brothers, my sisters, and so there was a girl who was somehow disabled, could not afford some of the daily food or something. So my brother had taken the girl to stay with us. That girl one day, after we interacted for some time, she asked me to accompany her to go and see what she does. She used to go out, do some courses, and then she comes back. Though it was not much to enable her stay alone, so we had accommodated her. So one day I moved with her to see what she was doing. So she was assisting a certain mother, a madam, who used to the mother had taken some young children, like, let us call it a children home. So the mother was taking care of those young people, the young children. Those who were disabled, they had no parents. Others were, they had parents, but the parents could not provide for the children. So the mother was there to cater for those children. So the girl was going there each and every day to assist the mother, so that the mother could be able to reach the children in that level. So they could walk from different towns, could walk to Embu, they could go to Meru, they could go to Nakuru. The reason as to why they went, the mother was going with the children, so that now the children ask for the small support from guys, from people. So that was the work of the young kids. Yeah, they were studying, but in that institution, but it could reach a moment whereby they could walk out to look for some support from people. So one day, this girl we were staying with asked me, why don't we one day, you just accompany us. I will ask the madam to allow you. You accompany us, we go, and then you see what you usually do. Because I was in that growing moment, like you want to explore more, I did not refuse. So I asked my brother for permission, and he said no problem, because he knew the girl was not a bad girl. So they just allowed me to go. So one day I accompanied them. We went to Meru. They did their activities. The other day we went to Embu. So the next place to visit was Nakuru. So I'll never forget Nakuru because great wonders happened there. Yeah, so we went at Nakuru, the third visit. So we boarded our vehicle from here like 2 p.m. So we arrived there very late. In the hotel where we was to spend, we arrived there very late, so we could only take supper and then have our night. And then the following morning, now it's when they was to start their activities. So the following day, I asked the mother, we used to call the mom Mother. I told her, Mom, I don't feel like accompanying you maybe to where you are going with the kids. Allow me to remain behind and just remain behind. Then you'll just come back and then you find me here. She had no problem. So I was left there. So after I stayed in the house for some time, then I went down to the corridor, just over the floor. Was there seated and then just looking at the people passing, just looking at how Nakuru was and all that. So as I was seated, as naive as I was, as young as I was, there's a person who passed by. There are so many people who passed by. but this one, there was a certain guy came. He was carrying some biscuits and some sodas. I sensed it was a Oka. So he came near and greeted me like, hi Prete, how are you? So he said, I'm fine. What do they call you? I told him that I'm Mary. So he asked me, Mary, do you come from this place? I told him, no, I'm not from this place. I'm just a visitor or something. So he asked me, he requested me, can we just take a walk? So I was like, there's no way we can take a walk because I'm a visitor here and I have my mom. In fact, I told him I have my mom. He did not know whether it was not my biological mom. So he feared. The moment I said, Mama, just go on and he's coming back. So when he finds me not here, then it may be a problem to me. He said, no problem. We are just going to walk around just for like 10 minutes or something. Then I'll bring you back. I said, no problem. So we just walked. The moment we were walking, this guy told me I'm just also I'm in my 0 level. I completed my school the other year. I'm just doing some activities so that I may obtain some cash. Said no problem. So he told me, by the way, I've loved you. Do you have a number? My mother had provided me with a phone, so we exchanged contacts. After that, we did not say much. He brought me back to where we were. So at least I sensed he was a good man because he respected what I said. So I just sat there. After some time, then the mother, and the other, the girl, and then the children came back. So we went inside the camp. So we stayed. At night, the very guy now started chatting me. So he told me, so-and-so, the person you are with during the day, how are you? Such kind of things. So we chatted the whole day. And you see, there are things you can tell a person when you are looking at them physically, like face to face, but there are others you will need to maybe do it in a maybe you can chat or something. You can express yourself more, especially if I'm a visitor to you. There are things maybe you can fear to tell me when we are facing one another, but you can tell me when we are chatting or something. So that is what we did. The whole night we chatted. It was good. So I felt he was a good man. Yeah, so we stayed at Nakuru for like 2 days. Then after that, we were to come back to Nairobi. Yeah, we came back. Now something was developing inside me. I'll surprise you, that was my first love. I had never fallen in love with any man and I was not ready to. But then, even up to today, I cannot tell why I was attracted to that guy. So from there, something now as I started growing, that love thing now. So I'm like, I've gone and you are where you are. No, how will you be meeting? So he could come for his some property, some business things he used to do. He could come for those things at Nairobi, could buy them and then go back to continue this job. So he told me, I'll be coming next month to Nairobi to pick what I usually pick for my business. Yeah, so I said, it's okay. So just, will you feel free to meet me? So how could I refuse? And then something was growing inside me, so I did not refuse. So the moment he was coming, I just went, I met him. So I just greeted him like the way I've greeted you here. So, but then I had not hugged any man before. So like even to hug, it was not easy. I want to express to you how now it is started and how things were. So from there we moved to to Uhuru Park. I said even I could not allow him, or I could not accept to enter a place like maybe a restaurant or somewhere, because I feared. I asked myself, in an enclosed place, anything can happen. So I was not ready for that. So when he said we go to Uhuru Park, I had no problem. So he went, he sat down, he told me who he was, and deeply. I also told him who I was, deeply from where I come from. And so I asked him, what is your aim? Like, I've never fallen in love with any man, and how come now you feel like I should be your lover or something? So he said, one thing is because I've just loved you. You look like a naive girl, you look innocent, you look good, you look bright, and all that. He said all the names. Then I was like, no, I have no problem with that. I know, because you are not the first man to tell me such things. So what is your aim? He said, I just want us to be friends. I asked, only friends, no problem with friends? No, he said, then later, maybe you start dating or something so that we marry or something. So I'm like, that cannot be, because I've just completed my Form 4 course, I'm continuing this other course, and then I will go back to college. If you want to marry, how will that happen? Because maybe I'll waste your time or something. So he told me that one should not worry you, because I'm not in a hurry. As I've told you, I've also completed my school the other year, so I want first to invest. Yeah, he was not in a hurry. So after he said so, I said, no problem. So we continued. Now he became our love now deepened. I loved the guy so much. He loved me likewise. So he could come from all the way from Nakuru. He could come to Nairobi. I could go that way. We used to visit one another. And when I completed my course now, I was to go back to my mother's place, and then I started the teaching course. So since the man has promised to be patient, I had no problem, and it is true. The reason as to why my love to him grew more deep, it's because I saw he was a respectful man. He could respect me. Like, you see, when you are in a relationship with someone, there are those actions, like someone wants to touch you, someone wants to maybe come over, or just have a sleep or something. He had no such things. In fact, even touching me, no. So I just respected him, and he respected me as well. So that gave me a morale to continue in the relationship. So before now I joined my college, there's this one thing that happened, that I had a friend also here in Nairobi. She was so close to me, a girl, and we used to share secrets, deep secrets. So the girl knew that I was in a relationship with that guy. So one day I asked me, Mary, why don't we, because the girl also had a boyfriend in Nairobi University. So he asked me, why don't we invite these guys? They come over, we know one another, we interact, just like that, nothing else. So I did not see any big deal. I did not refuse. So I told the girl, it's okay, it's a good idea. So I called my friend. She also invited her friend. We came, sat down, the four of us. We just talked. We knew, they interacted. They knew one another, and it was good. So after that, there's this fishy, awkward, weird something that started happening with my friend. This is my girlfriend now. So the girl could. Like, I don't know, okay, I was open to her in a way that I'd given her my boyfriend's number. I also had her boyfriend's number, but I came to realize that the girl was texting my friend, even when I did not know it. I did not know it.
And this one is not telling you that your friend is texting?
No, he did not tell me. We were just that free. But then, it wasn't when my friend told me, my boyfriend told me, what is this that your friend is telling me? So I was like, what is she saying? She told me, she's telling me that you are pregnant, and it's 3 months pregnant. It's like you've been hiding something from me. What is happening? Are you sure that it's not true what she's saying or something? So the boy was so furious. He could talk so he'll abuse me. So I told him, what you do, there are some things you cannot talk over the phone. So what you do, just come, and then we'll be able to speak physically, and then we'll know what to do next. So he did not hesitate. After a day or something, he came. So when he came, we just sat like, it was not fun to sit with him the way we are seated or close, but nothing could happen. That's how we were. So I thought that day was like any other day, but it was not so. So he came very furious, and then we just sat in the house, my brother's house, and when we were there, he told me, now I want you to tell me the whole truth, what happened. Like, I know so-and-so cannot lie to me. So what is happening? Is it true that that thing happened? Because how come that you've been so mean to me? You are not giving me, and then you are giving other guys. No, that cannot be. You are a hypocrite. Yeah, you are a hypocrite, and you cannot lie to me that it did not happen. So he asked me, are you willing to talk, or you are just remaining silent or something? So I could not talk. He said, now that you've decided not to say anything, now you woke up, like now the way we are seated, walk. You see, there's that which we call willingness and forcefulness. Like if you want to have sex with someone willingly, that one is a different case from if a person wants to do it forcefully. So he came in that manner. Now he wants to do it. Then he told me, I had come to prove it myself, whether it is true. So you've been telling me why so and so. So I want to prove it myself. So he came in that form now. I'm sure you can picture maybe a furious man. Yeah, you are dating someone. You've never tried maybe to make the person test you or something. Now he wants to do it by himself. That furious face. That's how he was. So he tried to, like, you see how it happens. You are seated, someone wants to remove your clothes, and then now do it. So the moment he was trying to, he found he could not enter. So he just stopped. He sat, and then he was very apologetic. So sorry. He said, oh, Mom, I'm sorry. You see, these stories, so and told me, so, because I could not believe. I wanted to prove for myself whether it was true or something. So he started crying and all that. So after some time of silence, then we just prayed, and I told him, it's okay, no problem.
Were you scared at that point?
I was, because, and in fact, from that day, like I just feared men. Like, you see, I had not imagined whether a man, I used to hear about rape, but now the face and how he was, if I can demonstrate it, it was in that level of how a person comes when they want to rape you. So I started fearing men, and even up to today, I cannot sleep in the same house, even with, what can I say? Like, I remember there was a day, it happened that I had to share a bed with my brother. That night I did not sleep, and it's my biological brother. I did not sleep. So I'm like, oh God, what if it turns to be another person? What if I did not sleep the whole night? So that's how I fear men. Yeah. So when he found the way he found, he just sat, apologized and all that. After some time we prayed, and then he said, let me just go back. He went, and then now I prepared myself to go back to my mother's place, and then I continued my course. So that is what happened. I started the course. I studied the first year, second. I could go to his place to visit him. He could come, and because I like things being done in a transparent way, I had informed my mother that I'm dating someone. And I told him he's from this place, he's called so and so. So my mother knew about him in case of anything. I just like doing things in the light from when I was young. So I could visit him. When I went there in his place, there's that room where he could take me to his the girl was his friend. They used to worship together with her. So when I go there, I used to spend night with that girl. So when he comes, my mother could find a place for him, like, or even a lodge. He could spend there. Then he goes back. So that's how we were. We started like when I was in my almost finishing my course. I remember I started feeling otherwise. Like I felt I'm not in the right position, like I'm not in the right track, because now my relationship with God was growing deeper and deeper. I said, oh God, why did I enter in this thing? Like, it's like I made a wrong choice or something. God, it's like I did this thing when my mind was not mature or something. So I said, now I'm going to disconnect completely. Then I asked myself, now which reason? Which reasons will I give as to why I want to disconnect? So I told him that I don't feel to continue this relationship anymore. So he was like, why? I did not give any reason. I just said, I feel like I want to disconnect. I remember one day when I was traveling over his place, I lost my ID, I lost my clothes, I lost so many things I loved. So I connected with how I felt in my heart. Then I was like, God, did I make a wrong choice? Are you trying to speak to me whether this is not the right direction or something? So, but then I said, this person has been patient. You remember? Yeah. He has been patient all through. I've not heard him with any other girl or something. You see that genuine love. That is how I felt. And I also saw that I had that love. So I was so down. I said, now God, if anything happens to him, you will always blame me because maybe I did not hear him cheating or something. So I just paused and I said, let us just continue. So I completed my course, and then since there was nothing else to interact, and according to the way he had said, he has been patient and nothing has happened here in between, so we were good to start. So we started our preparations, and before I finish, I completed the course, my mother could ask me, is this thing really real? Because, it's someone who's just wasting your time or something. I said, I told my mother, this person is serious. I don't think whether he has come to waste my time. So I completed my course, and then we started the preparations. We prepared. I informed the church. I informed my friends. I informed my family members, everybody. The people who knew me. They knew that something was cooking and something good was coming over. So everything we organized, everything, let me call it everything, because I went to see their place, Shago, not in town. I went to see his place there, the countryside, I mean. He had also come with his people at our place. So it's not something that we were just trying to cook or something, to something that was people knew about it. Yeah, so we organized then. After organizing everything, we had 2 weeks remaining so that we may enter or have our big day.
Wait, in those 2 weeks, what was ready? I'm sure for a wedding to take place,
yes,
there must have been plans in place to cater for the food. There's the cakes, there's the wedding dress, his suit, the shoes, the rings, the food.
Yeah.
What was ready?
In those 2 weeks, I had prepared my girls. The boys from his side were ready. People were ready, like the tailors, they had prepared those, they were in the process of tailoring. The clothes were almost ready. We had planned everything, even where we'll have our function. Things were done well. In fact, nothing was remaining, if I may say. So we did the next, during those 2 weeks, what was remaining was the pre-wedding and the wedding. Pre-wedding and the wedding, and then a gown, my gown, and then maybe a suit or something, but my gown I cannot forget. So those things were to be done, or we were to buy those things at Nakuru, because there's no way you can be married at your place, or you can purchase things at your place or something. You purchase things, or you get married, or you prepare more in the place where you'll stay. Yeah, it had gone to an extent whereby we had started looking for a house where we'll stay after the wedding. You see now those preparations. Yeah, so Reverend was ready, the best couple, the best man, the best lady, everything was set. So 2 weeks, I've said we had not performed the pre-wedding. So we did the pre-wedding on my side. People responded well. Yeah, so after that, we were to do his pre-wedding. We went, he had accompanied me in my pre-wedding. We did, it was on a Saturday. We were to perform his on a Sunday. So to perform his pre-wedding on his church, my mother asked me to ask my sister to accompany me. So we went there. The pre-wedding was also done well, things were well. And then from there, whoever is looking at me, the viewers, I want you to understand that just the pause from there, that when I've said 2 weeks to the wedding, I don't know who I can blame. Is it myself? Is it my parents? Is it my pastor or something? But there's this one thing which is very much needed, that is HIV tests. It's good for every church. I tend to think, I don't know whether there's a church wedding which can be conducted without an HIV test. Maybe those people who marry in the gardens or at an Nigeria or something, I don't know whether, but when it comes to the things to be conducted in the church, it's a mandatory for you to have that slip. So I had trusted this person. He had trusted me to an extent. I don't know whether it is demon or Satan, but I came to realize later that the way maybe I may think or I may desire could not be the will of God. And God can do anything to show you that whatever you are doing, or the trap that you'd taken, that road, that path is not his will. You are not in the right trap. So there's that thing, according to me, I came to realize later that it was the will of God for things to be so. Because I had no imaginations about that test, of which, when you are dating someone, I don't think whether it is because we were not coming together in terms of sexual matters or something, but then I did not see any need for an HIV test, which was very, very important. So in these 2 weeks, as I've said, it's when now we went, because it was a mandatory, we went for a test. Now we've conducted the 2 pre-weddings. His side and also on my side. So we went for a test, and then in that big city of Nakuru, in the center city. So we went. As we were almost to enter the hospital, I cannot remember, the guy asked me, I cannot forget, he asked me, he used to call me mom, so yeah, he called me mom. What if the results differ? So I was like, how now? How can that be? Are you kidding or something? I was like, I did not give it much thought, because as per me, I don't think whether that thing can happen. So we just ignored. Yeah. And then we entered the hospital. You see now, after now you enter, the person to conduct the tests has to take you some counseling. So he told us, when it goes this way, it is like this. When you see it this way, it shows this way. So after that, okay, according to me, the counseling meant nothing. I thought he was just wasting time. And then he was to go straight, do it, and then because my mind had told me that nothing can happen. Oh, it must be well, according to me now. So the doctor contacted the techs. So before he contacted, he asked us, after now the council asked us, who are we going to start with? So with my courageousness and confidence, I gave him the finger. So he took the blood, then put on the table. He did, on my partner gave the finger. The same was done, but then things were not as we expected. Yeah. So at now I can smile and I can just thank God, because God has just come over. But at that moment, I felt like I cannot really explain how I felt, but it's like I felt like the earth could just open and then swallow me, and then because at first I did not believe. Then I figure out when whatever he was trying to ask me when we were about to enter the hospital. Then I'm like, could it be these things? Am I dreaming or something? Is this real? So the doctor said, you see, now that language of doctors, he said, let me conduct this test again. I don't trust my machines for now. Let me repeat. So he repeated. He drew those, the ones he drew, the results he drew in the dustbin, then he did it again. So after doing, it was the same. Like one is positive, the other one negative.
So yours was?
Mine was showing negative, the guy's was showing positive. So we were there, nobody's talking to the other. So the doctor now tried to talk again, told us, you just don't mind. Things are well. What you do, come tomorrow at 11. I love other machines. I'll use another, I don't know how, there's a language he used. Told us just go home, come tomorrow at 11. So from there, as I've said, I cannot really explain how I felt, but then we walked out. We went, boarded our vehicle, we went back home. So before we could enter the house, I had left my sister in the house, the boys' house. So the house was near the church where they used to worship. So before we entered, I told the guy, what we do, let us not go to the house direct. I want us to enter the church first. So we entered. So after we entered, we sat like the way we are seated. So I looked him at the eyes, and then I asked him, now I want you to tell me the truth. What are these? Am I dreaming or something? Are these things real? Or what is the meaning of this? So he was also scared, confused. He could not even talk. He just dull. And he said, actually, Mom, I cannot even tell. I don't even understand. So I asked him, and now if we can figure out, like, is it because, did you go to a kinyozi or somewhere, maybe someone used the wrong, on he cut you with the machines which had been infected or something. So we were trying to come up with where is the virus coming from? So I was trying to imagine. So he told me, I really don't know. I don't know. So I told him, whatever it is and whatever lays ahead, God knows. So what I do, let us just pray. So I led the prayers, we prayed. I believe in prayers. Despite everything, I know, I like just putting God first, because everything happens with a reason. So I just led the prayers, we prayed, and then we went in the house. Found my sister there. My sister is just there on the phone, and then at that moment, my tone has changed, my face has changed. So my sister asked me, Mary, what is the bother? What's the problem? I told her, oh, is well. But then, oh, was not well. So it was during the evening hours. The boy provided for food. My sister cooked the 8. I did not eat anything. We went to sleep at the very place where I used to spend. So the following morning, at around 10:30, 11, I waited until 11. So I called him. Then I asked him, have you gone for checkup? Because when we departed from that place, I told him my heart, no, even if we go, what change will it bring? So I did not bother to accompany him to go for the third test. So he just went alone. So I called him, have you gone? Yeah. What are the results? What has the doctor said? So the answer that boy gave me left me now finished. Let me use that word. Like I felt everything is, I felt just finished. So he told me, have you gone for test there? And what have they said? What has the doctor said? Just like yesterday's. That is the word he used. Yeah, that is the word he used. Just like yesterday's. Used a Kiswahili word, kama tu za jana. So that is what he said. So I just disconnected. And then at that moment, the best lady is calling me, Mary, where are you? We are supposed to meet at a particular place. I want us to buy this or that. At that moment, he could call me. Then my tone has changed. He sensed there's something wrong, so he called the guy, asked him, where is Mary? I'm calling her. I want us to meet at a particular place. I want us to do 1, 2, 3. So the boy told the mom, the best lady, like, Mom, where are you? Told her, kindly let us meet in our pastor's office. I just want us to meet for a certain period of time. So the mother just came immediately. He came with the husband. He had also, the guy had also called the pastor. We met in the pastor's office. So at that moment, he had come with the slip. Now he has been given. The results came with them. So he told the reverend, this is a receipt that is needed for us to continue with the preparations. And here it is, and this is what it shows. So the reverend went through the paper. He could not say anything. At that moment, the boy started crying, shedding tears. He could not even say anything. On my side, I am just shedding tears uncontrollable. So we are just there. And that went for around 5 minutes. Nobody's talking, crying and all that. So the best lady took courage. She told us that this is not the first thing to happen to people. It happens. You're not the first guys. Pastor also told us it happens. So you don't have to think that this is the end of the world or something. So they talked. From there, the reverend who was to unite us in the wedding, told us that what you do, Mary, you cannot go home in this state. What you do, we are going to, I want to connect with my professional counselor. He called, in fact, he used that term, is a professional counselor. I want us to go there. You people, I want you to be talked to, because maybe we can talk to you and you think that we are not professional or something. So we went. We found the counselor had some other people who was counseling. We were the next. So we entered. The counselor told us the same words. The best lady told us and the pastor that these things happen. You are not the first people. You are not such kind of things. And you see now what made me feel sad, even up to today. And may God help me to forgive them. And okay, I forgave them, but now I still remember. Like this lady, you see now, the best lady is a person who should take care of you like a mother. Yeah. But then she told me, Mary, in case anything happens to this guy, you're the one responsible. The counselor told me the same thing. Like, you are supposed to continue, even if it is what? Even if you are, the wedding is you are almost 2 weeks to the wedding. Now what you are supposed to do, you should not break this thing. There's no pausing. What you do, just proceed. And then the counselor was telling me, I've cancelled other couple who are like you. They are now married. The man is using whatever is under medication, but the lady is not. So I'm saying, oh God. Now even if I was to marry the guy, let me ask you, were they to tell me to not even to pause, just to continue? And then I was so sad. I did not, according to me, I did not take them as my friends or my elders or something, because if it was your mother, could your mother tell you that you just proceed, no problem?
Without considering your feelings about all of
your feelings, your life after, even if this thing maybe was to happen later, they were to tell you, pause. But
Think
then,
about it. Yeah.
but then these people were telling me, push. No need of postponing. They wanted us to continue. What can you call that? So I said, oh God, you just finish. You are my elders and I'm listening. But then I was listening through this ear and they could get out through this ear. I told in my heart, you just finish what you are saying, then I go back. Because I have realized that the only person who cares about my life is my mother. So after counseling, I told the boy that I cannot spend at Nakuru anymore. It was around 5. So they asked me, where are you going at this moment? Nairobi is far. I said, even if I arrive there at night, I'll go. And that is what we did. We came from Nakuru very late. We arrived at Nairobi very late, at around 11 because of jam. But then, from there, the guy had given himself some strength. He called my brother and told him what had happened. So my brother had informed my mother that things are not well.
Yeah.
So I spent at Nairobi. The following day, I went to my mother's place. We were there. My mother asked me, what is the matter? I could not explain to her. In fact, I told her I want to meet the pastor. So we went to my pastor's office. We talked. The pastor told me that he does not see any devil in that thing. It is God who has come to rescue me. It is God who has created all things, who made these things to happen, so I should not worry. So from there, everything paused. In fact, everything paused. And on my side, I mean, on his side, like, you see, people were prepared. Psychologically, I was prepared. The church members were prepared. My family was prepared to release their daughter and everything. Now everything paused. Now there is where I could see people at their true colors. Because they could come like church members. You pretended you cannot date a man from this place, a man from our tribe or something. So people mocked me. The chairman of that committee could come and tell me, like, if you are like the man, just tell us, don't waste our time. Like, people, I expected him to come like to behave like a father to me and then tell me, even if it has happened, there's always tomorrow and all that. Yeah. But then everybody turned against me. Even I returned everything that I did, like those people, the money that the contribution, I ensured that it was returned to the owner. And then I told my girls that you just take your clothes, wear in other occasions, because I post everything.
There's no wedding.
Yeah, there's no wedding. So that's the scenario. That's how things were, which was not easy at all. Like, there are people who just criticize and talk all manner of things. But then, one thing I usually tell a person, just put yourself in the shoes of that person before maybe criticizing. You will feel it. So everybody has gone away. I remained with my mother and my pastor.
Is this guy reaching out to try and find out, maybe can we plan another date when you finally come to terms with the news?
Yeah, the guy could call. The guy could text. Now, the thing is, like, Mary, how can you leave me at this moment when I need you the more? Like, I was so traumatized because people are mocking you, others are saying all sorts of things they are saying. I feel myself that I've been disappointed. Himself on the other side is calling, he wants us to continue. So I was like, God, even if this thing was to continue later, why are they forcing it? Like, I should not take a break? So I had also some questions inside my mind. Why are they forcing me into it? So the guy could call, he could text. So my pastor told me, what to do, don't just try a kind of delete the number or something so that you take a break from these things. And then because of the environment that I was in, my pastor told my mother, allow this girl to move out of this environment. So that is what happened. My pastor told my mom, like, she has completed the studies, let her go. Let her go and look for jobs. Maybe she can look for jobs in Nairobi or somewhere. So that is what what happened. And I came out of that place, came back to Nairobi. And there I I stayed with my brother, my wife there, my brother's wife, my brother. We were there. It was not easy at all. The work, my brother's wife could console me each and every day. Just take things easy. Just take things easy. Like it has happened with the reason. God has done it with a reason. So God will come through for you in another form and do that. So that's how it was. And after some time, I started healing. It did not take much. I mean, like two months, I started looking for a job. I had not finally healed. I had a wound still. But then, we call it like self-courage. I just encouraged myself, because if it has happened, what will I do?
Let me ask
you cannot reverse anything. It has been so. Yeah.
On the day of the wedding, here you are, you have called off the wedding, and the people have been informed that there's no more wedding on the date. What was the date, first of all?
The date was it was 26th April.
So on that day,
yes,
take us through what went on. This is the day you wake up imagining this should be the day I could be walking down the aisle and marrying this man. What was going through your mind?
Yeah. It was not easy, because, as I've said, during these 2 weeks, I had prepared myself. In fact, we'd gone to an extent with the best lady to purchase the gun. So I had gone to that place where I was to buy it. And then I had also measured myself. So the only thing that was remaining was for me to go and pick it. Yeah. So that day, that 26th, I remember I was still here in Nairobi, because I did not wait for that day to find me when I'm in the midst of these mockers.
Yes.
So I came to my sister's place, at least a place whereby I was not surrounded by people who knew me. Yeah. So at that day, I remember in the morning hours, I fell down in my brother's house. I fell down just behind the door. I just fell down, because I was just imagining, because psychologically I was prepared. In fact, I am that kind of a person who likes doing things early. I don't believe in postponing or like, I don't believe in delays. That is a word, delay. Like I wanted to do it early, and then I just have my family as early as possible. Yeah, that was it. So I could imagine, then I'm like, oh God, now, before I get a person who will just tell me, I love you or something. Remember, it was my first love.
Yeah.
Remember all those days, like I've told you, according to me, he loved me genuinely.
Sure.
So it was not easy at all, because to explain every bit of everything and everything I felt, it may not be possible, but simply it was not easy. But I thank God, because God continued giving me that courage. The healing came over with the time. After 2 months, during the month of December, November, we had a conference at home. I attended the conference. God spoke to me through his servants that this was to happen, but then give yourself heart. Just forget about everything. God is coming to you in a new form. So that one also gave me inner peace and hope. So I continued waiting on God. On the other side, I will tell my viewers something that people don't believe. There's a reason as to why everything happens, especially for those people who believe in God. So when my pastor told me that he does not see devil inside that thing, he sees God, I also started seeing God, because I pictured and I imagined how I felt before and how I wanted to disconnect from this person a year towards the wedding. So I said, could it be that God was speaking to me and I was maybe not listening or something? But then if God wants you, he wants to disconnect you with something or with from somebody, you will do it by all means. So as I continued healing, I remember the reason as to why God came over, and then he forced that man Let me use the word force. I am using force because he had not confessed to me what maybe happened, or maybe where the virus came from or something. But then God told him, now you have to go and tell this girl what happened. Yeah. So that is why I'm saying there's God in heaven. For those who come to criticize, like if I was the one, I could continue the wedding or something, before you maybe say whatever you want to say, it's good you put yourself in somebody's shoes and ask yourself, if I was the one. There are people will say any manner of thing, but if you are in my shoes, maybe you could not say what you are saying right now, or what you want to say right now. So as I continued healing, as I've said, it could pressure me as well, but not until the moment I came to delete the number. But remember, I've deleted the number on my side. He still has the number. So he could call, he could text, like, you cannot afford to leave me at this moment or something. So I remember when God told him to come and confess to me, the guy had now come into his senses and he started seeking God the more. Like I also want to tell people who are named by the name of the Lord. Let me see that word. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 19 that the foundations of God stand sure. That whoever names with this seal, that whoever names or whoever confesses the name of the Lord should separate themselves from every iniquity. So, like, you cannot be in the church and then you are playing around with God. If you decided to walk with God, then do it fully. Because in the book of Revelation also the Bible says that let your hotness be hot. If you want to remain cold, then be cold. But don't be there in between. God hates lukewarmness. So it happened that this guy was doing the ministry like I was doing the church. He was a praise and worship team member. He used to play keyboard and all that. But it was not that serious. There are things he used to do playfully. He did not take God seriously. I told him that you should be serious in the things of God if at all you decided to walk with God. In fact, there are so many things I told him. He learned a lot through me. But then he kind of neglected, ignored or something. So when this thing happened, God told him that I'm sure people don't believe that God talks. God can speak to you, because when you read in the book of Job, I think 14, the Bible says God can speak to you through visions, through dreams. God can even send a person who has your message. For those who want to ignore it is well, but God speaks. So God spoke to him like that girl had come in your life to align you in the ways of God, but then you kind of ignored. So I will punish you. So whatever happened to him was a kind of punishment. So, but then God told him, I will come over, I'll come through for you. At that moment, he refused. He said, I will not take medicines anymore, those ARVs. Yeah. He said, I will not take them. Now I want to see God. God, I want you to heal me. And he continued, he persisted, and he said, if you are not going to heal me, then, because I've been left alone. Remember, he has not confessed this thing to his people. Like the parents do not know. Like his people are blaming me. Like, how come this girl, you are so committed in the relationship and all that. Then 2 weeks too, what has come over her? So they blamed me. Because the guy told them, Maria said we pause. We just decided to pause. Like, he does not want to give them the correct answer. Yeah. The reason. So the only person who knew was the reverend, and maybe the best couple to be. I don't know whether even the guys in the church, those who are to stand to escort him the wedding, I don't know whether he told them what happened. So that's how it was. And due to that, he remained alone. Everybody was, because now he did not maybe want to confess of which it's not easy as well. It's not easy. I'm not blaming him, because I usually say, also me, where could I start? Like, people could see me doing the things of God. I aligned myself in the things of God. Then all of a sudden, things are like this. It's not easy. And I'm not here to condemn him. Because anybody can go through this. Can go through such kind of a thing. You can find yourself, we are all carrying bodies. And this body belongs to God. How you use it, you may be infected by a person knowingly or unknowingly. So, it happened. So he remained alone. He was so lonely. So he said, now that everybody has gone away, like I've remained with nobody, even the mother does not know what is happening. So he said, it is me and God. That's what he said. And then he devoted himself more to God. And he said, God, if you're not going to heal me, then I will not continue taking the medicine. So he devoted himself in God. He started consulting the men of God who are used by God with mighty powers. And that is how God came through for him. So in that scenario, as he was praying, devoting himself to God the more, he got a message from God. And God told him, you are going through whatever you are going right now, it's kind of a punishment because you did not take my things in a serious manner. So, but God told him, but you will be healed, but you'll pay for it. Like, he had to confess, stayed without anybody. It was not easy on his side. And I've said there are things which will happen in your life for God to deepen your faith or your trust in him. Like maybe that thing could not have happened. I'm not saying I'm not happy that it happened to him, but there are things that will happen to a person's life so that God will draw. If at all you are called by the name of the Lord, God wants you to draw near to him more, and maybe you serve him seriously. So God told him, go now confess. So he called me. At that moment, when I received the phone, I'm like, now I've deleted this, but I know the number, because even up to today, I've crammed the number, I know the number. So he called me, like, I want to come over. So I'm like, you again? What is the problem? Surely even you cannot wait, you cannot pause. What is it again? So he told me, I have a message. I'm just coming to give you a message. So I'm like, what kind of a message that which you cannot give over the phone? So he said, just don't worry. I'm not coming in form of I'm just coming to see you with a message from God. So I said, no problem. He came, we met, said, I will not even sit, I will not even go anywhere. So I asked, like, what kind of an information are you going to give while you've alighted from a vehicle? You're just standing, like, in the midst of all these people. So he said, let us just go over. We sat down on a hotel over the road, and then he told me, now this is what God has told me. Like, the first thing I want you to understand, Mary, that God loves you. That's how we started. So he said, like, God loves you, and he has told me to come and confess and tell you what happened. Yeah. So I'm listening. So he told me, you remember the very girl you came to spend the night with? I said, yes. So that girl has been admiring me for some time, and although he has not been showing me, like when we met with the girl, the first moment, the first impression, he told me, hey Mary, you see, so-and-so has been praising you. Like, you look good, you are wonderful, you are what? So I just wanted to see the way you are, and truly you are good. That's how the girl told me. So I did not know whether it is true the girl was admiring that guy, and maybe he had planned by all means that he would do anything maybe to disconnect us or something. So he told me that girl called me one day at her place for a cup of coffee, and because he's a friend, a church member, I did not hesitate, I did not refuse. So I went. So when I went, it was around 7 p.m. and I'm here to tell you, the people were looking at me like, if you're not married, like you're not dating someone, you don't have any relationship with the person, you're just a friend, you are a girl and I'm a boy, how come you are called in the house and then you are the two of you? Yeah. And you just go, you don't mind. It's good we care. Because nobody knows whatever may happen. Yeah, we are carrying bodies. And we are told that unlike posts, do what? Attract. Yeah. So the boy went, my friend went. So when he went, the girl served tea. He brought a cup of tea, they took. From there, all of a sudden he changed. Went, changed clothes. He came to him half naked. He came with that sexual harassment manner. And then what happened, the guy told me that he found that he had slept with the girl, and the girl was HIV positive.
So that's how he got infected.
Yeah. So that is how it was. So
And this happened while you were in a relationship with him?
Yeah, this happened. In fact, it happened when, you see, our relationship took like almost 5 years.
So during
Because
these 5 years...
I've told you, it's immediately I completed
Yeah.
my course. I did not fall in love in another person. So when he came, then we just moved on. I was in schooling, I was studying in my course when we were in a relationship. So these things were happening while still we were dating. So that's how the girl infected the boy, according to the information I got. So he was told to come and confess. So I was like, if you knew this thing had happened, and maybe you know the condition of this girl, why did you not tell me? So he said, in fact, I was so sorry. I imagined how I could start narrating all this story, and I said maybe I could disappoint you or something. Maybe you could leave me or something. So he did not tell me. But then he was forced by God to come and confess.
Did he know that this girl was HIV positive?
Probably he knew. I think he knew. He knew that the girl was... Because when I looked at the girl, even when I used to spend the night over there, okay, I'm not so much, I don't I'm not good in, I'm not perfect in looking at a person, how maybe they are, how they look or something. But then at the look of her face, she had some dots everywhere. Some others look like wounds or something. That thing did not come again in my mind, that maybe, because anybody, I said to myself, anybody could maybe have such kind of wounds or something. But the girl was HIV positive.
Wow.
So that's how the boy was.
In fact.
Yeah, so he told me that God has told me to come and confess to you, and God has said he had sent you in my life to align me in his ways, but then I did not ignore. But then God has told me this is a punishment, but he will come over. He will come through for me. So that is the information I was given. And from there, he did not stay. So he just, after giving me the information, he just went back.
So now at that point, you had closure. You at least came to understand how this condition came by. Did you ever imagine you would give yourself another chance to fall in love again? And what happened?
So after there, the first thing, I started imagining how things were happening before, and instead of blaming God, or I'm sure when these kind of things happen to some people, some will commit suicide, others will think like the others come to an end. But I thank God, because as per me it was like an awakening alarm. I thank God because I started now looking at the things of God more and more in a serious way, and then I loved God the more. I said, so God, you are this love, so you love me this much. The first incidents, God has sent his servants, 2 of them, to tell me that people did not know me. They told me, it is true, God says that there's something that was to happen in your life, but then it is not going to happen. Just forget about that. But God says He's going to make you to be of greater honor than the one you are to be. Then again, as if that is not enough, God sends the person to come and confess to me. Do you think it's easy? Others are cheated, you don't know. So according to me, I loved God the more, because I remember there was an incident when Abraham said that Sarah was not his wife, it was his sister. Then the king wanted to sleep with Sarah as the wife to Abraham. But at night, the angel came and warned that man and told him, don't sleep with that man. Don't sleep with that wife. He is my servant's wife. So that's how it came to me, like, so God, you are this caring, you are this concerned with my life. So I loved God the more. And then I said, now God, because I've learned my mistake, and for those people who are watching me, I'm not here to criticize anybody or to perfect myself in anything. I know I'm a sinner as well. But then once you find yourself in a mistake, you find yourself in a mess, you don't repeat the same. Sure. So I told God, like, I entered in this relationship when I was young, very naive. My mind was even not psychologically ready to handle things of a relationship, because I remember my prayer was, the person I will date will be the person who will marry me. But then I entered into this thing just because of emotions, out of maybe like I don't want to remain alone. The other girls are in a relationship, something. But then I did not seek to know whether it is the will of God. So from there I told God, I'm very sorry. And again, God, I'm happy because it's better a broken relationship than a broken marriage.
That's
true. And again, this person has not left me when I'm hurt. You see, there are people who will waste your time and leave you when you are just, this thing has not happened when you are behind. You can do more. Yeah. Even if I start another relationship right now, if I tell you I'm not married, I'll just start another relationship, and people will come over because they are still coming. So just by the grace, I told God it's not over, and I thank you, God, that it has happened. And I told God everything happens with a reason for them that love you. So I told God I'll be very careful now. Whoever comes my way, because still I believe that I'll do a church wedding. So I said, whoever will come my way, oh God, I will consult you the first. And not only a fiancé or something, but everything that I do, I involve God. Be it a business, be it whatever I want to start, I involve God. And I ask whether it is the will of God, and God gives me direction. So it did not stay much. Something that also until now the man is not happy about, because I did not take long. A year later, just a year later, it's when after praying much and asking God for forgiveness, and after God has told me to forget the past, He's doing a new thing, I devoted myself in God the more. So God came through. I did not stay, because you see, I believe there's power in prayer. And whatever you have believed God to do comes to happen if at all you persist. God looks at the motive. So I told God, I want to be married young. Oh God, I don't want my years to pass. I don't want, even if that thing has happened, God come through for me. So I started praying, persisting, fasting. I remember in that school where I had gone to ask for a job, girls couldn't go to take lunch. Then I couldn't close myself in a room. I pray, and then I say I'll not take that food. I prayed. God came through within a very short moment of time. And then when that guy came, I felt in my heart, truly, I'm attracted to him. He is a God-fearing man. He had all the qualities I had asked from God. Then I remembered what I had told God, that I will be more keen to know whether it is your will. There's another thing I want to say, that whenever you're married to a person who is not your right rib, you will regret the rest of your life.
Sure.
Like the Bible says, He made Adam to sleep, a deep sleep. Then from him He took the rib. And then He made Eve from that rib. That means it is something that was compatible. Like if the rib was to be returned, it will be compatible because it has been returned to where it was. That is why they were compatible. So if you are given a person who is not your right rib, you will regret the rest of your life. That is why in the generation that we are living, many families are breaking up, because you look at a person physically, she looks good, she has figure. Even the people who are in the church, but then we are making a mistake, because that one is the Bible says God does not look at the physical appearance. But have you sought to know whether it is the will of God? Because the Bible says in Isaiah that I think it is 34, God ensures that everybody has their mate. Yeah, you will not lack your mate, but then you have to seek God to know who is your right rib. So I told God, now God, I told you I will seek to know whether it is your will. So I told my pastor at home that I've gotten a man. Yes, approached me. According to me, I feel he's the right man. But then, pastor, help me, we pray. So my pastor told me, I cannot imagine, and I don't want you to go through what you went through. I don't want you to regret again. So we prayed. My pastor could pray. I could also pray. I told the guy, also you must pray. And if God brings a different answer to you, that I'm not your right person, don't fear to tell me. So we prayed. I could pray, I could fast. He could pray. The pastor could pray. We were in silence for 6 months. Nothing is going on. The guy could text me, Mary, God has not said anything. I said, no, God has not spoken anything. So, but at that moment, we were just living like the way we can live with this, the other person can live with you, that way. no closeness, nothing beyond, because God has not confirmed. So after 6 months, God confirmed to me in a dream 3 times that this is the right man. Then just God
You just felt
killed
it, that this is the right move.
I felt in my heart, and that was not enough. God confirmed it to me through a dream. Yeah, I was walking in the midst of people at night, and then I saw another woman coming, rushing, then told me, stand where I was. I was. He came, he overtook me, then he stood, then told me that the trap that you have taken is the right trap. In the dream. That was the first one. Another one and another one, 3 times. So I called. I did not believe yet. I asked the pastor. He told me God has confirmed. God has given me peace. God has shown me you're in the right trap. He came, prayed for me, then gave me a go ahead. So as I entered into this, the man also, God confirmed to him. So as I entered into this other relationship, I knew it was godly.
Of course.
It was godly, and God has come through for me, and God has done wonders. As we talk, things are well, and I thank God for everything.
Where?
Yes.
You went down the aisle, you married this person. Take us through that process of preparing for the wedding again, because the first time you did it, people saw what happened.
Yeah.
These are the same people you go back and tell them, now I have met someone else, and now I still have a wedding to plan. How are they reacting to all these things?
Yeah, it was not easy, because it was not easy at all. Because maybe people could think, others could think that I'm just playing around. This news hit the guy where he was, because he said like I was cheating on him. That is why I have not stayed for long. So he said, even this man, I was with him. I was dating him as I dated him, which was very wrong even before God. I did not know the man. But then that's how maybe he concluded that how come you do it? But as I've told you, I don't believe in delay. And I believe God comes, and He's a God who answers prayers. So when I started organizing for other pre-wedding and all that, as I've said, it was not easy. But then I did not plan those things at home. In the first place, the first incidents, I was doing things in the up country. There is where I was doing my pre-wedding and all that. So the other one, I did it in town. Yeah, with my own reasons. People like my home pastor, the bishop, wanted me to that the wedding be conducted there, but I did not want it. Like I said, let me just involve the people where the church where I've joined, even though I'm new. It was not easy, because you are new, people do not know you.
Yeah.
Okay, they knew the guy, but they did not know me. So like you've just come and you are just wedding, but then I did not bother about that, because I knew it was God who had spoken to me. So we organized a town wedding. I did not perform it at home. Yeah, and people came. Those from up country came. Those who wanted to. But those who criticized and said that maybe I failed the other guy or something. It was just like that, because people have to talk. But by the end of the day, the truth has to stand. Yeah.
You know what I think when I look at your story? The point where you get and you decide, I cannot for the life of me continue with this wedding. And it's 2 weeks to the wedding. I'm looking at it from even the people who will judge you. Look, you have dated this person, you have become vulnerable, you have become honest with them, you have told them your entire life history. And they are holding something back. At the point where you find out his status and you call off the wedding, he did know that he had done something that might have exposed him to some infection. And then he kept that information from you. I believe the main reason why you called off this wedding is not because of his HIV status. It's because of his decision to keep away that particular information from you, for you to make an informed decision that, well, I have met you, I know your story, I know at some point you got tempted, you cheated on me, but this is your truth. I think if he would have opened up to you, do you think if he would have opened up to you and told you that this is my truth, this is my situation, would you have continued with this relationship, or would you have continued the marriage?
Like I've said, it is true that I like honesty and truthfulness. Like during in the midst of that relationship, as I've said, it was not a short duration. There are things that could happen in between. Like you cannot say that when you're in a relationship everything flows well, everything is smooth. No, at a point you may disagree. I remember there was a time also I wronged him, but then I had to confess, and I told him it has happened 1, 2, 3. It was a bitter thing to him, but then he forgave me and we continued. So according to me, if he could have told me that it happened so that this girl did 1, 2, 3, and he found himself in that in
that situation.
Yeah, that situation. Maybe the way I took things is not the way I could have taken them.
Yeah.
But then if he was to wait until God forces him to come and confess, then there was a problem. Again, another thing that made me to make that decision that I disconnect and call off everything is how the pastor is reverent, the counselor from his side, and also the best lady were insisting me to continue, even without that person. Like, you cannot tell me things have just happened, then tell me, even if you don't postpone, just go on, just, what is that? So I said, could this be a plan? Is it, could it be that they knew something of that sort, and then they wanted me to enter blindly or something, because they were like, don't post the phone, just continue, you can continue using medication while you are still in. So I said no, things don't move that way. Even though they were up for me to become theirs on the other side, there was a way out. They could tell me then, just pause and let us seek God in this matter.
Think about it,
Pause. Let us seek God in this matter. But the way they approached me and told me I have to continue, no pausing, no what, that pressure made me to think otherwise. And I had to disconnect. Yeah.
Why did you choose to open up about this incident, this story?
Yeah, so as I think when we were starting this episode, I told you, it reached a point when I watched those people being delivered, giving out their testimonies of what God has come through for them, how they encountered God. I told God that when I was in class 6, that God make me a testimony, that I will stand to share the things that you have done in my life. Because I tend to believe that when you share of your own story, people are more likely to believe you than when I come here and then I start telling you, my friend did 1, 2, 3. But now I'm telling you something that happened with me. It's me personally who encountered this thing. So that is why I remembered what I told God. And from that moment, I can assure you, things have been happening in my life. Like something happens, then I say, oh God. Then I remember it is me who told God, make me a testimony. Let alone this. Even there are others, many of them, whereby people have come, then I see God. Things have happened, then I see God. So I've been sharing what God has done. And even in my YouTube channel, I've given out some episodes there of what God has done, what you should do before you prepare for your marriage, what happened 2 weeks to my wedding, and many other things are there. So I have just come out to speak of the goodness of the Lord, not to shame anybody, not to harass anybody, not to perfect myself because I'm also a sinner, but then to tell my viewers and everyone else wherever they are, to learn from the mistakes that I made, that they are not going to repeat them in their lives.
Right.
Yeah. Like I learned that there's a certain age you cannot accommodate love, even if you've entered there. One day, at a certain time, you'll come of age and then you realize, I entered this thing when I was not psychologically mature.
Right,
Yeah. So you should wait for your time. like your brain, your everything to be able to hold that marriage thing or something. You cannot just enter. And then the other thing I learned is about waiting on God, involving God in everything that you do, that I should not be moved. So my viewer over there, also, they should not be moved by lust. Like you've just loved someone, you just looked at them like physically, you love them. If you, on the basis of Christianity, you are making a mistake. It's good you seek God to know that is His will. So that is why I've come, just to speak of the goodness of the Lord. And I'm not here to cry anymore. I'm not here to to remember those bad things that happened in my life. I'm here to celebrate a victory because God came through. Yes. Yeah, if things went astray and I'm just ruined, maybe I could not come. But I'm here to tell people that even if your past has been bad, even if things have happened in the way that did not please you, you can start again. But this time start with God, so that you'll involve God to perfect that which belongs to you.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
How can people who want to engage you further about relationships, marriages, how to wait upon the Lord, how can these people reach you to have a word with you?
Yeah, so as I've said, I have my YouTube channel.
Right.
So in my YouTube channel, I call myself Mary Kitonga. They are free to come over there, watch those videos, subscribe to my channel, have a chat with me, just ask anything. For them to receive my personal number, maybe we can chat from there, but not, yeah. And then I also have like a LinkedIn, what do you call it? Profile, although that one is a professional one. I also have a website whereby I've written my articles over there. You can come read them. In fact, in my website, there's an article I've written and I've pinned it. It's pinned. I've called that article "My Husband Came from Heaven." So when you read that, you'll get the whole information of what happened, how we met, and up to now where I am. Everything I've highlighted there in my website. I've said my husband came from heaven. So if they want to know this heaven thing, how it happened, then my website is there. My website is I'll give you the details. You'll give them over there. Then link I have a Facebook page. I'm in TikTok, although the others are not important. I'm in Instagram. Yeah, Mary Kitonga or Mary Charles. I'm there.
All through. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mary, for availing yourself and coming to be vulnerable with us, share your story with us, and maybe pick from the experiences some great lessons that you're going to impact to the women and men out there who are looking to get themselves married or find themselves in a family setup. So thank you for using your experience to teach other people how to trust in God.
Amen.
And to you, my viewer, you have heard the story of Mary and how she trusted God through and through to help her find the right partner for her. Are you then wondering whether this particular partner that you're seeing currently is the right person for you? Please pray about it and seek the will of God through this. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end of the show. My name is Yvonne Kawira. Keep it Tuko.